Life doesn't come with a grading rubric.
Unmarked is an open conversation between two international teachers meddling through their life,
Love,
and purpose far from home.
no edits.
No filters.
This is Unmarked.
Hello, welcome to episode 11.
Hello, how are you, Carol?
I woke up to a very warm apartment,
Which is rare.
which is great.
I am jealous because my apartment is still cold. But I also had this feeling this morning when the sun came out and I was like, I feel spring.
Yeah.
We are in week 2 so
In
far.
school, yeah.
Right, so how does this going for you?
I was equally as productive as week 1. I already feel slightly more overstimulated.
For me, that was such a weird week. That was the first week when I finished having no things piled up. Everything was marked, lesson planning was done, everything was printed. Week 2 done. We are back on the couch to talk about first times.
Yeah.
And
All our firsts.
Whatever happened first.
Maybe
Yeah.
not all of it.
Oh, definitely not all of it, Miss Carol. Ooh, someone is cheeky again. So, for the marked section, makes sense if we talk about our first year teaching, our first times in the classroom. What was that like? Do you remember that first morning when you went into the classroom and it's like, okay, now I'm in charge?
I was so nervous the first day at school. It's like now you have 20-something young humans that you're in charge of, and they're gonna learn everything from you. Mannerisms, language, knowledge. What if you brainwash them?
I was thinking
And
about
you
that
could.
too.
You could.
Yeah. But it's also this idea, you have a little bit of imposter syndrome your first year. I had that and I was so scared. I was fact checking myself before each class. I would double check, oh, is this the right thing I'm telling right now? This is something that took a while for me to get used to.
I remember doing a story, first day jitters, with them. And it's really cute. The story talks about how a girl is very nervous for school. And towards the end,
You told me that.
yeah, it reveals that it is the teacher that is nervous.
Yeah.
And it opens them up as well because they think, oh, feelings are normal.
Sure. Did you have that nervous feeling only your first year, or you have this even when it's a new academic year?
Whenever you are about to meet new students, I still feel those butterflies. But I
Yeah.
think it's good.
It's excitement right now. It's more like I know what to say, I know what to expect somehow, but you always, it's like going on a date. You're like, ooh, I'm gonna,
You're
I don't
about
know.
to find out.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
It was so busy. My first year teaching, there was just so much to learn on the job that you are just overwhelmed.
Yeah, this is probably perk and drawback of being newly qualified teacher because you have to develop on the way
Yeah.
with everyone. And also, if it's your literally first year of teaching, you have to grasp all of the, how does the school work? Who do
The
I talk
curriculum.
to? Who do I need to refer the student if I notice this and that? Parent communication, come on. When I started teaching, I was already 23. Imagine a 23-year-old girl talking to parents about something. This is nervous, stressful.
Yeah. It's such a different tone when you speak to parents and when you speak to children, right? And to switch between that and with your colleagues.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I used to be quite scared or hesitant with parent communication because I understand how much trust it takes for them to put their child under our care, right?
But it's not like they choose us.
Yeah, but
Usually they don't. They do trust.
Yep.
They have to.
They have to.
They
Right?
don't have a choice.
And
yeah.
yeah,
But they
it's
don't
always
choose.
a tricky dynamic to navigate. within the first few months, that's when I usually really want to get to know the child and the parent so that they see you as working alongside them, not against them.
This is the most difficult part, and that was one of my mistakes as a first-year teacher. So I had background in English as a second language teacher, so I had only one area of my expertise, and I was working in a specifically just language school. So I was working with a range of ages of students, and I didn't have parent communication. So when I first started working as a homeroom teacher and I had my first parent-teacher conference, or PTC, I had this problem where I thought I know how to do things better for the child's sake, but then the parents saw that as if I was fighting against. That hit me so hard, and I was really upset about that. Yeah.
Yikes.
Do you remember your first
PTC?
Yeah.
It's very strange for parents to come in and ask a 20-something, a childless 20-something,
Yep.
about how they can manage their child. But of course, I think we love the child, both as teachers and the parents, but we focus on different things. What I do remember is that I over-prepared, definitely.
It's every time, for me, every time, even not the first year, okay?
But it helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is over-prepared for you? Maybe for some it's just normal PTC.
Having data on hand, I have all the spreadsheets out, I have notes, and I still do notes. I like that.
Yeah.
So 2 pluses, 2 areas to improve.
But that's for you. You don't show it to parents.
I used to not show it, but in this school, I would come up with a summary sheet for the parents. Most of it were successful, but I remember having this parent, both parents showed up, and one of them...
Which is rare too.
Yeah, which is rare.
Yeah.
But in Malaysia, they are very involved.
Okay.
Yeah. And it helps that I can speak the language, English.
Oh, this is definitely a perk.
It is, because there are nuances when you want to deliver messages. So this parent, he wanted to control the pace of the conference. He was respectful, he was polite, but I could see that he was very judgmental about the child. And it was so hard to navigate that. And eventually, I had to book a separate meeting with the mum, because then we could speak more freely.
Yeah.
It makes me realize that we have an impact on the child, and what we say, I think we have to say with empathy and compassion as well, because these parents, most of them are trying their best.
And they want...
with their jobs and everything.
Yeah, and they want the best, okay?
Yeah.
So this is what I actually realized when I was going through therapy, and my therapist told me, your mom or your dad, this is their first life. This is their first time being a parent. So they don't know perfectly how to do it. We don't know how to do it perfectly. We don't even have kids, you know. Who are we to say that? But I always feel such an honor when parents ask you questions, and when you see that they are involved, and when you see them asking, please tell me, how can I help? What could I do at home? And I'm always so open to that. I see this as a healthy environment for the child. Do you remember first problem when you had in class? This first break of discipline, or someone was acting out, and how did you respond to it as a newly qualified teacher?
My first year and my first homeroom class is such a hot pot of personality. I had a boy who struggles with aggression, but he's at the same time so cute and so expressive. And they were young, grade 3.
Okay.
Yeah. I also had very chatty and argumentative people in class, and also very competitive ones. So I did struggle that year. I think the very first time this student yelled out something, it was just pin drop silence, because the students are trying to gauge how does this teacher react.
Yeah. Is she a military strict teacher, or if she's cool?
Yeah. That year, I was still a very fairy tale book teacher.
We all tried.
let's take 5 minutes. Can you come here?
Let's talk about your emotions.
Yeah. So
On a
that
scale
was my
from 1
first
to
year.
10, how do you feel? This is how you start, I
Yeah.
think. Right now, like even yesterday, I saw you raising your voice.
Oh,
but it
yes.
was needed. Okay, that was really needed. That student, trust me, guys, if you met this boy, trust me. So it's just constant battle whether you cross the line, which we shouldn't. Okay, we are adults there. It's our job to manage that. But we all had that days.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I don't usually get really angry. It's just an act.
I don't get angry either,
Yeah.
unless when the student was barking and yelling to my face, I hate you,
yeah.
that's when it hurts me. But most of the time, I'm not angry. But you have to have this strong, loud voice to show.
For me, it's an act. But I think in the end, if you're a new teacher, you just have to realize that it is still a service, customer facing industry,
Yeah.
especially if you work in private international schools. So think of it like customer service, when you are communicating with parents, just
Yeah.
use the right tone, a professional tone.
Yeah. I like how it's always when it's parent-teacher conference. In my previous school, the principal would send a note how to deliver the information. So you have to be like a politician.
Yeah.
You have to tell the truth, but don't go directly to the face saying bad things.
Yeah, and approach it with compassion. Like one day we might be parents too,
Hopefully.
So, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. What was your first failure living alone?
First failure living alone.
Like when you would, for example, cook the meal and then you were not able to finish it and you have to throw it away or you have to freeze it.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that groceries spoiling. And I remember the first or second week here, because it was cold, right? I arrived last winter. The jam jar that I brought, I couldn't open it.
Jam?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because it went outside in the cold when I was commuting back. I couldn't open it. And I'm like,
Carol, the idea that you brought jam with you. Oh, wait, no, you
from-
bought it.
yeah, from
okay,
the
I thought you
grocery
brought it
shop.
from Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's.
like,
I will show you a
no.
trick. I know how to open
Okay.
when it's. I will show you.
Yeah. But now I'm
Life hack.
stronger. I can open
Oh, generally, living alone is tough, even if you live alone in your home country. But living alone in a foreign country is like fun, in a Carol meaning fun, right? Like a challenge, which is, I think, not everyone can cope with that.
Okay, so that's it for Marked. I think we're both just excited for the unmarked part.
Always. I think our podcast within time will change.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the whole idea of the podcast regarding our work life and how is it to be a teacher and stuff, but we're girls and we love yapping. Drinks. No, how you say it?
Jinx,
Drinks?
yeah. Okay,
Right, see ya.
anyway, see ya.
This is Unmarked.
Welcome back to Unmarked.
Welcome back. It was a bit of a tough break because Miss
Why?
Carol decided to brew this traditional Mongolian milky drink that stinks so much.
I don't know how to pronounce it yet, but I added something like that. But it's a milk curd thing, and then it's sea buckthorn flavored. But I swear it keeps you so warm.
Okay, I trust you, girl.
Yeah, it does.
Every country I'm in, there is always something from the local place. For instance, I was laughing so hard when in Southeast Asia, all the kids have balms or tiger balm. We were talking about that in the previous episode. And then here, all the kids are bringing Vaseline boxes with them. And also this drink.
She's gonna tell the Vaseline story, not me.
You think? Shall I? That happened in her class. Anyways, the Vaseline story, it happened in her class, but I keep sharing this with everyone I know because I think this is how it shows teaching in a nutshell.
I will begin the story and you can finish it.
Okay, I can finish.
So a boy brought a whole jar of Vaseline, and there were just a few boys sitting around, his friends, and they were discussing like what it's used for because some of them have never seen a jar of Vaseline. And then you may continue.
And then they were talking like, okay, what can we use the Vaseline for? And then all of the boys, oh, I can use it for my lips or my nails or like elbows, like dry areas. And then one of the boy, actually one of my favorite students in that class, the brightest boy ever, he says, well, I'm using that for my male genital parts of my body, starting with letter B. And he said that word. And I think the reason why I like that story, well, of course, it's hilarious in the moment, but you can't laugh.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. And then the other boys started to giggle, but I wanted to tone that down. I'm like, yeah, like everyone just uses it at different areas.
Good that they
That you
didn't
need.
ask you, Carol, oh, teacher, what are you using Vaseline for?
Oh, no, so
Did
I told them, I said, for me, I put it on my hands, especially my knuckles.
Yeah.
So whatever works.
But the reason why I like that story, because it really shows what it's like to be a teacher in the room. Because when situations like that happen, they are kids, they don't put any meaning behind what they say most of the time. So you have to keep the face and you have to make sure you don't get into the funny part of it. But obviously she came to my room and we were laughing so hard, like how hilarious that is. Long story short, this is Unmarked section. I think we have very interesting conversations, and I like how we can go from something very serious to yapping about Vaseline usage in everyday life. I think people would be also happy to hear this yapping.
Okay.
You don't have a choice, basically.
But what are your first failures? Just now you were talking about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I was cooking last night. I was peeling the potato and my hand slipped. So I basically cut myself like really deep.
Yikes.
And I was like trying to stop it bleeding and then cooking at the same time. So the first failure in terms of what? Because for me, first failure is, I don't know, maybe when I was a child and I just like fell over. I have a funny story to share though. When I was like maybe 2 or 3 years old, I was walking down the pavement with my parents, and then my parents, they were talking about something and they were sharing this in the terms of, oh, this is so difficult for the woman. Something was about the woman who was pregnant. And then my mom said, oh, that might be difficult for her when she gives birth, when she's in labor. And me, 2 or 3 year old child, I remember that. Oh, when something's difficult, it's like the same as when you're going through labor. So I'm going down the pavement and then I fall down. I'm starting bleeding. And then I start shouting in the whole street, how am I supposed to give birth and go into labor? And like everyone is just like giggling and laughing, because it was funny. So what do you define as first failure, Carol? That's what my long monologue was about.
as long as it's the first failure that you remember, that's fine.
Okay. Uno card. What was your first failure?
I'm trying to remember back, but
Maybe first failure when you learn something from it. Maybe if we phrase it like that.
when I learned something from it, I don't really remember. I'm legitimately like flipping through my brain documentaries, but I couldn't find like one specific failure. There is one moment that I still remember to this day. When I was 7, I went for a singing competition.
I didn't know you were singing.
I was horrible at it.
That's why we do karaoke sometimes. All right, girl.
Yeah, so that experience, even though I was 7, mind you, made me not want to sing until I met my colleague in my previous school. And she and I ran the choir club together. She was the one that encouraged me to sing. And so now I do. But yeah.
What happened? Like, was it public humiliation or something?
I don't think it was anything that bad. It's just that I couldn't reach the high note, or it was just a little bit out of tune, a little bit softer, because I didn't understand my voice. So I couldn't find my vocal range. So I thought my vocal range was very low. all the time when I was growing up. But actually, my vocal range is high. And that's why when I was singing a very low register, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
My cheeky question.
Cheeky question.
Yeah. Do you remember your first time when you were publicly humiliated, or like when you were in an awkward situation in public? Like your first failure in terms of, I don't know, having a toilet paper stuck to your shoe or your pen.
Wait, I'm thinking. So I was growing up in school. We went on a prefectorial board camp. I wasn't sporty then. I
Remember
was
your parents
15.
gonna watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's fine. I was 14, 15, but it's kind of sad. So we went rock climbing. That was one of the activities. I really didn't want to do it because I knew I couldn't do it. Everyone had to take the turn anyway. Yep. So I went and a boy just said, "Oh, she only knows how to study. She can't do sports. Look at her." Yeah.
Oh.
And he said it loud enough that I could hear, so that means people around would be able to hear. And there were only 2 students climbing then. Obviously, it was me. But you know what? Now I do crazy things.
Yeah. Watch me now. This
yes.
little boy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can rock climb now. No problem.
Of course. Oh my God, Carol, this is such a upsetting thing
Yeah.
to hear, especially
But-
at this age. Very
Yes.
sensitive.
It does shape the way you think of yourself, because then the next 2 years when I went into an international school, I went completely the other way. You know how people are reminiscing the 2016 now?
Which is, for me, such a weird thing to do.
I want to see 2016 you.
This was my second year of college. You don't want to see it, trust me. I was experimenting with my hair. Anyways, so 2016.
Yeah, I was in year 10. I switched to an international
Shall
school.
we do that trend? Do you have photos from 2016?
Yes, I do.
Okay, for
Oh,
Unmarked.
we can do
Okay.
it. Interestingly, a decade ago, it's almost like a cycle, because that was the time when I was trying many things new, and I am also now. So I went into long distance running, so I wanted to prove myself wrong.
That what? That you don't like it?
No, that I could do sports on
Oh.
top of studying.
Because of that, what he said?
Yeah,
Oh.
yes. And I did manage to, actually.
Of course, because you are Carol. Okay, let me phrase it differently. Your personality is strong enough to prove something, even it's not healthy mentally, but this is how our brain works. We want to make sure, oh, watch me, try me. You say that, see how I do it, see how I nail it. But this is so, oh my God, Carol, I'm so sorry.
I wanted to prove myself wrong, because it's not an identity that I want. Yeah, for myself. That 2 years in the international school, I realized that people were very tolerant, very open. So everyone could try and no one was laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is supposed to be the environment that you grew up in.
Yeah. You know, kids, especially teenagers, really cruel. Really.
Yeah,
Especially,
they can be.
I would say especially boys, but no.
Oh, girls can be really
Oh,
mean.
yeah. Mean
They
Girls,
can.
remember
Yeah,
the movie?
they're worse. But yeah. So I think that counts. Because otherwise, I'm the one making people awkward. You know, my brother came back from France and we were at the airport.
What did you do to poor him?
He's such a sweet boy and he gets embarrassed. So when he came, I'm like, "Welcome home!" And then everyone heard me and I had to say it twice. "Welcome home, little brother!" Or something like that.
In
It was
Mandarin.
hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
And
if
then
you are
he's
the
like,
brother, I'm
"Shh,
sorry.
shh, shh."
Oh my God, Carol. But yeah, Carol, you can put people in a embarrassing situation.
In Mandarin, we have a phrase that says, okay, if the awkward one is not you, it's the people around. So you just be yourself.
I like the motto.
If you know the Chinese phrase, leave it down there. But yeah. What was your very first job? Okay, very first job. And what did you do with your first salary?
Oh, Okay.
Was it always teaching?
Boring enough, yes.
Really?
Yes, because
Okay.
I started living alone when I was 16. Okay. And I didn't have the need to work because for my parents, the main part was that you have to get good education. So I started working when I was 22 years old as a part-time English tutor, and I was earning like absolute nonsense, but it was for me to prove, oh, I should be responsible, because my parents were still obviously financially supported me, but that was my first burst of, okay, I want to try something new. As a college student, I don't know how that was in your case, but when I started in college, a lot of students, they had part-time jobs, but they were working like baristas, or I don't know, working in the shop, in McDonald's. But for me, I never wanted that, because well, maybe a bit spoiled, but I thought this is not what I'm made for. I don't want to even go that direction, which was stupid, because right now I would love to work in a coffee shop, to
Yeah,
be
I
honest.
was just about to say, I
Yeah.
would have guessed that you were a barista.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But back then I was like, no, if I decide to start working, that should be related to teaching. So yeah, my first ever job was in a language school, and I was teaching one group of students. So that was my first job. And my first salary, I think I bought books. I was obsessed with books back then. Not anymore though.
Mine was equally boring. I also started with teaching, but teaching piano. Yeah.
Do you remember what you spent your first salary for?
I remember going out for a family brunch. Like, it's a thing with your first salary to go out with your family. I think it's a pretty Chinese thing.
To give it kind of
Yeah.
as a respect.
Yes. Yeah.
What was your first salary? Like,
My first salary, no, it was a part-time job, and it was only on Saturdays. I think it was only 300 ringgit, which is how much in USD? Maybe around 70, 80 USD.
yeah. My first salary maybe was like 80, 90 USD.
Yeah, yeah, very similar, because it was part-time.
But it was such a great, I don't know, I was so proud of, I remember
Yeah,
that
yeah.
feeling like, this is the money that I've earned.
Yeah.
It's not from my parents, it's not scholarship, this is my money. Yeah. Ooh.
And that was actually fulfilling my first ambition, to
Yeah.
be a piano teacher, a music teacher.
Yeah.
But I realized that I didn't want the music part, but I still wanted the teacher part.
Which is nice,
Yeah.
because look where you are
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. I have
What's
a
your question?
We know already that we both have this A plus label kind of on us. But do you remember the first time you broke the rule? I don't think that you broke any rule,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in terms
no.
of like doing something
Doing something cheeky.
not even cheeky, but something that A plus student would never do, to kind of break the image.
To submit my resignation without plan.
Did you tell your family about that?
I was already writing the letter and I told them.
Okay. What did
But
you
it's
feel?
liberating. Yeah, because I'm like, I choose my path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What part of this makes it breaking the rule?
It's just a little bit unconventional because I'm a person who plans.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I decide to just go without a plan. Within the same 2 weeks, I bought my first ticket for my first solo trip. So I think that 2 weeks really challenged my own identity. But that was just a little bit. That was the first time I was challenged.
Was it like you were inside thinking, I'm not happy, maybe I want to change something? Or was it like you didn't like the school or you didn't like the environment and you were like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for it.
Okay, now that I've had a little bit more time to think, there are 2 things that I had to challenge. The first one is my logical mind. So I think that experience challenged my logic because if I followed my head, it's better to stay.
Yeah.
It really didn't make sense then for me to go. So yeah, that is that. But to challenge really my identity as this nice A+ student, maybe when I learned to dive, because the people that you mix with are from different walks of life, and it's this very adventurous, very adrenaline seeking sport. I know there are plenty of scholars that also dive, but
Extreme sport
extreme sport, yes, if you would like.
for someone.
It's an experience that tells me that you can take up space. The sea is not there to judge you.
There is a beauty in that when you make this decision without plan. I believe the universe at that moment goes on your side and gives you something in advance, because this is how I think you show your personality trait, your strengths.
And thinking back, I was always a pretty cheeky child in kindergarten.
I can see that now.
But
Definitely.
yeah, I lost it somewhere.
Yeah. Do you want to tell that story when you made the teacher cry? Oh no.
No,
Okay.
that's so mean.
Well, anyways, we are all cheeky. Come on.
I was pretty influential.
I was very cheeky with my brother. Like he was like loud and we were fighting a lot, but I was smart cheeky. So I would do some tricks, and I'm sure there are some tricks he doesn't even know about yet. So we're gonna keep it for later, maybe episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about your own moment when you broke your own stereotype? Your own storyline?
I would say the first one, me having tattoo down without knowing how my family would react towards that. And I still did it. So I'm also cheeky.
I can see that. Okay, my question. When was the first time that you realized that you're no longer a girl, but like a woman? Like you've grown up?
Are we talking professionally or
Just
generally?
generally.
I
Like
think
when you look in the mirror, all of a sudden you realize.
physical appearance or...
Yeah, physical appearance and your maturity and everything.
I think I definitely felt that shift. That was when I started supporting my parents financially. That was the moment when I'm like, oh, the roles have changed, which I think is beautiful because they invested everything in me and my brother. So that would naturally make sense that right now we do the same. So I remember this first moment when it was not just 50 USD dollars that you just give to your mom or your dad, but like big financial support from me. That was the moment when I'm like, oh, I'm not a girl anymore. But somehow being with my parents always brings me, I'm always like a girl there. They always treat me like I'm a teenager.
Child. Definitely.
Yeah. Because I also look young, so
Yeah.
it's like, what about you?
Okay, because when I was living at home, you still feel like a child, right? So the moment I looked into the mirror and I realized that, oh, I've grown up was sometime last year. So it was very recent. As Southeast Asians and Asians, we look very young. So that's why I think last year I realized that my features kind of changed. It was a little bit more matured. And then I renewed my passport as well. And when I compared the pictures, I could see the age, not just in the appearance, but also the eyes and
The look changed.
Yeah, the look changed. And moving away definitely helped expedite everything.
That's a nice word, expedite.
Yeah, but I love being more grown up. Yeah.
I do really see the change with the passport too. I saw the passport, I also renewed the passport, and I was like, ooh, this girl now knows life. She's seen stuff.
Yeah, there is a big change, and it's nice.
Yeah.
What's your last question?
The first morning, your first morning after making a big decision in your life, or after, when you wake up and you realize, okay, it's something new today. Like a big decision or big change happening in your life.
Okay, let's just take the more recent one, which is in Mongolia, the first day I woke up and my dad already went home after helping me to settle in. It's just like, I am responsible for me.
Yeah.
I have to go to work and what? Like, this is the life that I chose? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a very unsettling, this bubbling fire. I don't know how to say it, but yeah.
I think it's like excitement, but also a little fear. Like the first time it happens, it's also, you're a bit scared and maybe lonely, no? I'm talking about like my perspective. I had the same. I remember that moment when my mom left, so she would also come and help me settle in, and then she went home by bus, and I came with her to the bus station. We said farewell. No one would cry because we knew that, okay, we're going to see each other in like a couple of months. But I remember that moment when I was on the street alone, and I was like, okay, I'm in a new country, new city. My mom just left. I'm on my own.
The
right?
quietness,
Yes.
the stillness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing that you did being this independent grown up when your dad left in Mongolia? Like, what was the first maybe thing that you bought or like thing that you did?
Going to get groceries and deciding on what you want to eat. Yeah.
Same. Yeah, same.
It's a nice memory.
Yeah.
It's like using a new notebook.
Yeah.
You flip open and it's a blank page and like, oh, what to write? But yeah. I left a very cheeky question for last. What was your very first date like? And I'm not talking like puppy love, school kind of love, but
Like
proper date.
Date?
Yeah.
Romantic date?
Yeah. 2-person, not with friends.
Okay. My first date when I was 22, and it was in Istanbul. The person and I didn't have a chance to meet in one place, so we found a solution to do this in Istanbul. And that, even now I'm talking and I have a little butterflies because that was such a nice time spent together, because we basically met for the first time. And yeah, that was actually my first date ever in my
Okay.
life. How boring I am. But it was also like first time knowing the person. So it's like everything for the first time.
Okay.
How about you? Because
As usual, I can't remember a specific moment.
who is older here, me or you?
I just remember the general feeling more than the actual moment. If you ask me, how was it like the first time we met? I can't remember that either. But yeah, what I'm pretty sure is that it's probably me and the guy, we were both with some home-cooked food, and we just sat down and sort of picnic-ish, and it was in university.
How old are you?
18?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, 18. We brought the food, we went on campus a little bit earlier before class, and then we just sat down and eat and chit-chat.
What is a date for you? In a way, when you kind of like the person or when you feel that things get serious? How do you define it?
When 2-person who obviously like each other are spending meaningful time together, that's a date.
Eating.
Yeah, so it was eating then for me. Oh, but we also had ice skating. Oh, that was horrible.
In Malaysia.
Yeah, we had an indoor ice skating ring.
This is so romantic. I'm sorry.
No, but that okay, we were already in a relationship then, but we were still young, so I had to tell my parents, okay, I'm going out for our first official date after being a couple. We decided on ice skating, but guess what? I went home with bruises down my entire shin. I can't skate.
Are you?
Okay, I can't skate.
Oh my god, I have so many. I have bad thoughts, Carol. Because if I would be a parent and I
Yeah,
saw
can you
my,
imagine?
I would be questioning.
No, but genuinely, I was falling and falling and falling. My 2 feet just couldn't work together. But yeah,
That is funny.
it is funny.
But you know, I feel like speaking, talking about days kind of put us in the bit of Valentine's mood, which is coming soon, right?
Which is coming soon, and we are talking about having a special episode.
Yeah, definitely. But I must ask it. Will you be my Valentine?
Sure. Sure. But I think they call it galentines.
Galentine?
Yeah, for girlfriends.
Will you be my Galentine?
Yeah, I just saw a post and it says why girls expect princess treatment is because of how they treat each other too.
True. Yeah, this is 100% true.
Yeah.
Because how girls are cheering for each other, maybe men should kind of look and learn from it. But you know what? I have something to say for the excuse. There are men who know how to do it.
There are, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big pond out there, a big ocean. Just have to look for the right fish. Oh well.
That's why you dive in.
That's why I'm diving.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. And with that,
Yeah,
we'll hop into our homework section.
we'll see you in a bit.
This is Unmarked. We are so late for the party.
So that's why it's going to be quick. Anyways, homework this week will be short, but very meaningful. So, listening. This will never probably change because I always have something to recommend for listening. This song represents the change. This song represents when you stop doing something, you get a failure, and you try it again. So this is by Olivia Dean, and the song called Dive.
Oh, I've heard of that
That's
one.
for you, Carol. That's very girlish kind of song. Even if you are a male listener or viewer, you will like the song.
And for to watch and to read, we're actually curious about the first book or the first movie that you watched or read that changed your life in a certain way or changed your perspective, maybe.
Yeah. Or thinking.
Yeah.
We can leave ours in the comment section too.
And
On that was Nika, and
Carol,
that was.
Unmarked.
We will see you soon.
See you next week.